Hello, and welcome to the Two Spool for School podcast. This is episode 3, and I am your host, Lo. This is a knitting, spinning, weaving, dyeing, crocheting, felting, sewing, many make podcast. If you are joining me for the first time, hello and welcome. And if you are joining me for the second or third time, then welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here. So you may notice that I am joining you from a different part of my house today. That is because the 3D printer in my guest room is rapidly and busily printing many little tiny game pieces for our rapidly approaching deadline to make our game. So, pardon if you hear any of that noise in the background, and if you hear any puppies, although they have been pre-snacked, so they should be good to go, but they may be joining us for some cuddles and some screen time. So, as I said, I'm Lo. I'm coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina, and yeah, so let's start with a beverage. So, I already poured this because I thought I was filming, and it turns out I was not. So that's why there's a sip missing. This is the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger. It is an experimental IPA. I got the Voodoo Ranger guy who's on all their cans. And so, and this is a fiber-related glass, and the dishwasher has done a little bit of number onto it, but if you can't read it, it says lay flat to dry, and it has this adorable sheep that's kind of on its back there. So yeah, cheers. All right, so let's get into what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing a handmade sewn dress, and this is the Faviola dress from So Easy, and I'm going to get up to give you a little bit of more detail shot. See what's going on. It's got pockets. And it's got this cute little ruffle here on the sleeve. So yeah, this was a really fun make that I did almost exactly 2 years ago, and it's in a double brushed poly, so it's super soft, and yeah, I made the size 10, and it's probably one of my favorite dresses that I've ever made. So all right, let's get into some FOs. So the first FO that I have today are my roller skate toe guards. So these are done. Last time, I believe, I only had, this one done, and nope, lies. This is the new one. I had this one done, and now I've finished this one. So all I had left was to put the embroidery on, and I think they came out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with them. So I crocheted these in Caron Simply Soft. The base color is sand, and then the embroidery is in chocolate, and then the black gold bits, which I still don't know if you can tell that it's got the black gold bits, but it does look, it gives it just a little bit of something extra, is a Premier Yarn Isaac Mizrahi Craft Carlyle in Roosevelt, although I believe that yarn is discontinued now. So yeah, so if, I don't have my roller skates up here, but if you're not a roller skater and you don't understand what these are for, they go on the toe of the roller skate, and they loop in under the toe stop right here, and then these two go through the laces, and they prevent the toe of your skate from being all scuffed up. So my friend got these leopard skates, and so I said I'd crochet her some, and she jokingly asked if I could do them in leopard print to match her skates, and I said challenge accepted, and I think they came out pretty cool. So that is my first FO. So my second FO is a little weaving. So if I can find it in my giant pile of things. Aha! It fell down. So this is my second FO. So this is a little weaving I did, and I got this loom at my local craft store called Craft Habit here in Raleigh. So it came with the frame and then just a cotton string for warp, and I put in, it's a bunch of hand spun and other little things. So let me point out what we've got going on here. So this is that Naama cotton cord that I used to macrame that project last time. So I had some left over. I thought I'd pop in right over here. So this right here is that slub boucle that I had spun up and shown you guys last time. I think that the texture on this came out so cool. This right here, this braid of roving, is actually an acrylic roving that I got, and let's see, what was it called? It's a Loops and Threads Chunky Luxe Big in Purple Blend. So yeah, I think that came out really cool. I was really happy with that braid. I was joking with a friend the other day. I said, it's I-40. It's a little high up for I-40, but if you know, you know. And then up here is another hand spun. This is a Zwartbles and Silk cabled yarn that I did last Tour de Fleece. And this is a boucle, little just dangly guy, that I also spun up last Tour de Fleece. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way this came out. It's just a little guy. I want to do a lot more of these kind of little shape looms. In my dream world, I have a glow forge that I can just make all of these myself. But until then, I will find other makers that make them. And I got a bunch of also circle weave or circle hoops. Of course, hoops are circles, duh. But I got a bunch of hoops that I can do some circle weavings in. So I may want to warp those up soon to use up some of the hand spun that I'm going to show you next. So Tour de Fleece is now officially over yesterday. So I hit my goals. So if you remember, I was talking last time, I was every year I go through this book. I pick out like 5 or so yarn types that I haven't tried, and I give them a whirl. So the ones I showed you last time were the slub boucle and the energized pigtails. And then this last fortnight, what I worked on was, the first one is this basic super coil. So in this book, so when I think of super coil, I think of something with like really big chunky coils. Let me see if I can try to cover that up. There we go. But this I took it was actually just leftover ply from my opposing ply pigtail yarn. And so in this book they describe using a spindle to manage your, I'm not going to give too much of the secret sauce away, but I will show some pictures. Using a spindle to manage your core yarn for doing the super coil. So that's what I did. I put some, this is just crochet cotton number 10, I believe. Crochet thread. Actually, funny story, my partner went to go to the craft store to buy his niece a Christmas present, and she had said she wanted to get into crocheting. I told him exactly what to get when he went to the store, and I told him, you get a size like 4mm hook, 5mm hook, and you get her a Caron cotton cake, because those are so fun to work with, and it's easy, it's chunky, good beginner stuff. So what does he come back with? Crochet thread. He was like, it says crochet on it. And I was like, that is like the hardest thing that you could possibly work with. So I traded, and I gave her a Caron cake that I had in my stash, and I took the crochet thread, and I was like, I'll find something to do with it. So So I took it, put it on the spindle, and then worked on this super coil. So it's really just you're trying to manage that spin or the twist in that coil, that core yarn, and spin the single that you have around it. So this took forever, and it's only, let's see, 12 yards. So yeah, probably not a yarn I'm going to be spinning all the time, but it was pretty cool. I did not end up with a balanced yarn. If I hold this out, you'll see that this is twisting really badly. So it was an interesting experiment. I will definitely use this in weaving. We'll make a nice supplementary weft of some sort. But yeah, again, not going to be my everyday yarn. So that was my super coil. And then my next yarn that I was planning for was this cloud yarn. So, what that? So, I had gotten a bunch of locks when I was at SAF last year. And it was funny, I was looking for them in the episode last time, and they were sitting right behind my shoulder, and I just totally missed them. But so, this is what I ended up with. So I took the locks. I have a picture of me having fluffed up one that I will put over Kirby's head now. And I fluffed them all out like that and took a Drops Mohair yarn that I had in mauve and used that as the core. Let me see if I can open this up for you so we can get some real good looks at this. I think this is just so much fun, and this is really, really soft and bouncy. I mean, cloud yarn, they weren't kidding when they were naming it. So yeah, and then I thread plied it after I core spun the locks onto the mohair. I let them kind of do their thing and clump up in spaces. Again, I'm really looking to make art yarn for weavings when I'm doing Tour de Fleece. So this is probably not gonna end up in a knitting, but definitely a weaving. And so what did I get? This is 19 grams and it is 26 yards. And I thought that one was really, really fun to do. I really enjoyed kind of combing out those locks and just separating them out and then doing that core spun. I don't do a lot of core spinning normally, so it was just fun to get to try that. Yeah, so really fun colors. I didn't use all the colors of locks that I had. I kind of just picked tried to do a gradient of sorts. I don't think it really matters in this kind of yarn, but it was fun. And so I think that was all of the yarns that I had wanted to... No, there was one left. So the last yarn that I had planned for Tour de Fleece was an Energized Single. So I'll show you some pictures from the book. So this is... So when you spin an Energized Single, to work with it, when it comes off the wheel, it is very, very curly cued. And I will insert a picture here of what mine looked like. So to make it usable, you have to use some kind of stiffening agent when you are finishing the yarn. And so what that does is it keeps the yarn in a kind of a working hank instead of all swooped up. So, and then the plan is to weave with it, and then once that woven fabric touches the water, all that energy comes back. And all those little curly cues make really nice texture in your woven piece. So, these are the yarns that I made. So I had a braid that was a work in progress last time, and it was Merino and Sari silk from Spotted Circus, and I was spinning it on my electric eel wheel, the Nano, and so this is what I got. So you can see it still got some energy in there, but for the most part, it's laying straight. And this is, so right now this feels very crunchy. This feels like linen. And what I used to size the yarn was guar gum. So I bought some guar gum for dyeing, because it is a thickener, and so when you use it in dyeing, you can control where your colors are being placed on the yarn more precisely, because it's less liquid. So made up a big gloopy batch of guar gum, dipped the yarns in it, let them dry under weight. So I have a picture of the terrible concoction thing that I did. It seemed extremely dangerous, but it was in our guest bathroom, so, something we're not using every day necessarily, so it could sit there. Although I put a fan on that and it dried really quickly. So, so I ended up with these 3 skeins, because the electric eel wheel has those tiny bobbins. So this is 300 yards, and 100 and... where did it go? 22 grams. So 4-ounce braid, a little bit extra, or maybe the guar gum is, I don't know how heavy it is. But yeah, so I don't know that this alone is going to be enough for a scarf. So I was thinking of adding a plied unenergized yarn that I have spun into the scarf, and I think that that'll be really interesting to see the way that the plied yarn and the energized singles react together. So yeah, it's all going to be a fun experiment. So looking forward to that. So yeah, so that was the last of my planned yarns. So after that, I just started playing. So when I did the super coil, I mean, it was fun, but I was like, this is not really what I think of when I think of super coil. This is. So, so what I did was I took out the blending board. At SAF last year, I went to this one vendor that had a baby cradle full of just little merino chunks that you could, I think it was like 4 or 5 chunks for $1. And so I just grabbed a good bag of them, because I thought it'd be really fun for making rolags. And so I made some rolags, and I core spun this onto one of my first hand spun yarns I used as the core. I didn't like the way the colors mixed in that yarn. They really muddied up, and I just thought it was a really ugly yarn, so I figured it'd be good to use for core spinning. So that's what I did here. So I spun, let me open this up so you can see it a little better. So I core spun the rolags, and then I did coils onto the same core. So it's the core spun and then coiled around that core. So you can see, try to get my face out of the frame, and maybe it'll, but these colors are making me just extremely happy. I would like a sweater in these colors, so I may try to plan something, maybe some bear fiber that I have. I may try to dye something up with these colors. So I did the merino chunks, and then I also added a little bit of mohair. This is a mohair Batt that has some Angelina in it. So put a little bit of that in there. And yeah, so I ended up with 36 grams, and it is a whopping 8 yards. So this will be something I almost feel like this would be great as a necklace, just as is. I mean, a lot of art yarn feels like that, right? So I don't know. I don't know what you'll become, but you make me very, very, very happy. So that's that guy. So all told, an extremely successful Tour de Fleece. I like to keep track of my spinning on a little app called Boosted when I do Tour de Fleece. And so I know how many hours I spun, and then with all of the math that I did on the skeins, I can tell you exactly what I did. So I got 8 projects done, and that is a total of 10 skeins. Let's see if I can hold them all. Oh, I forgot to tell you about one. Hold on, back up. Okay, so the last one I did, I got very excited with all the core spinning that I was doing. So I pulled out a Batt that I had, and I spun this guy. So this was an Angora Batt, I believe, did I even write this down on my list? Yes. So it's Suri Alpaca. And I did this as a soft core yarn, so I used that same Drops Kid Silk Mohair to spin this. I can't believe I almost forgot you. I'm so sorry. What did I do? Yeah, it was a 2-ounce Batt, and I core spun it, and then that's what I did. I thread plied it again with the Kid Silk Mohair. So the core of the purple and blue is the Kid Silk Mohair, and then it's thread plied with it. So this one's really fun too. And this is a lot more sizable. So this one I could potentially knit with if I wanted to. It is 65 grams and 58 yards and came out to like a bulky weight. So you may get knit with, but you may get spun with or woven with. But yeah, super, super soft. Super nice. Never worked with Suri Alpaca before, so it was really nice to work with. And so that Batt was from Cribleman Suri Alpaca Ranch, and that's another vendor that I saw at SAF in 2021. And SAF is Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair, and it is a big yarn festival that is held every year in Asheville, North Carolina. So let's go back to now. We'll talk about the Tour de Fleece metrics that I have come up with. So I got 8 projects done, 10 skeins. Let's see if I can hold them all at once. I think I can. Hoop, doop, doop. Nope. Hoop, doop. Hoop, doop, doop, doop. Okay, here we go. That's it. That's probably, is that my, I know the YouTubers like to do their title cards. So, 10 skeins, 8 projects, 1,931 yards spun, and for a final 943 yards of finished yarn. It is 511 grams or 18 ounces, or as the Microsoft calculator wanted to tell me, 1.18 soccer balls. So I spun for 23 hours and 16 minutes over Tour de Fleece. And I did stop counting near the end when I got into my work in progress that I'll show you later. So it's probably actually a little bit more than that. But for all of these projects, it's 23 hours. And I spun for an average of an hour and 47 minutes per day. So, yeah, I got a lot of spinning done, guys. And my friends. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this year's results. Put those over here. Oh, exhausting. Let's take a drink. Did you guys spin for Tour de Fleece? Did you try anything you haven't tried before, or made any progress on a project you were working on? I would love to know, because I don't know. It's ebbs and flows through my crafting, but right now spinning is really taking my heart. So, all right. So let's move on to works in progress. So, please. please forgive me on some of these projects that have not seen love. As you can tell, I was busy. So the first one, who definitely hasn't seen any love, I don't think I have touched it since last time I filmed, is the necklace top. So I'm not going to speak too much on this. You're even kind of wrinkly. Ugh, that is sad. Okay, I would like to jump back into this, but this takes a lot of brain space, and I have been working on other things. So yep. This is the necklace top by Naama, and I am working on the extra large size, which is a 52-inch bust, but my gauge will give me closer to a 48-inch bust. I am a 44-inch bust, so that will give me 4 inches of positive ease. And the yarn that I'm using is Knitpicks Luminance Lace in Dedication. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that since we haven't done any work on it. So the project that has been getting love is living in this zombie pinup bag that I made quite a few years ago now. It's the sweater sized one. That I made for myself. And that is my summer sorrel. So I am on to the stockinette. Very exciting, very tangled. I'm currently alternating skeins, so we've got 2 balls hanging off of this, which may be why I am doing a terrible job of getting this straightened out to show you. There we go. Okay, that's the back. So, the summer sorrel top. So when you last saw it, if I can hold this, we were right here. Boop. So I've put a good, 5-6 inches on it since then. We've separated for the sleeves. We got 1 sleeve, 2 sleeves. And yeah, it's on still on a tight little circumference needle. No, get back on there, stitches. Where do you think you're going? You're not invited to the dance. All right. So I'm alternating skeins using the helical knitting method, and my yarn is Space Cadet Maia, which is a 80% bamboo, 20% superwash merino yarn, and the color is Zazzle. So yeah, I really love the way this is coming out. So I cannot wait to wear this. We have conventions coming up, and plain stockinette is literally the perfect thing for when I'm standing in a booth for 10 hours of a day. So that will almost surely be done next time I see you. And so the summer sorrel pattern is by Woolen Pine, and I'm knitting the size 49-inch bust for a 5-inch positive ease. I feel parched today. All right, so my next work in progress is living on the floor in my favorite project bags, the Wool Warehouse ones that they send you for free. And this surprisingly actually has seen some work. It was 2 podcasts in a row. It hadn't seen anything. I at least wanted to get it so I could hold it up and show it to you, because having it in the middle of a row is really unaesthetically pleasing. So here we go. This is my Don't Panic rainbow shawl. And I am working in parts of the Evoluta pattern, which is starting right up here. So those patterns are both from Nim Teasdale, and this is hand spun singles from a grab bag that I got from Interlacements. This is still too big to fully spread out on the needles, but I feel like at least now you can get a little better of a sense of what this is going to look like, and it's going to be huge. I'm really happy about the way that this is coming out. The gradient is just exactly what I wanted. And And yeah, this one takes a lot of my brain space as well. So, has not been seeing quite as much work, but I probably put about 4 rows on this, and honestly, when it's this big, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's a lot of work. It's a good hour, few hours. So, yeah, so this is the yarn that I have left. I have like 1,600 yards of this, so this is a project. I mean, I did not expect this to be done soon. You will be seeing this for a long time. I may stop showing it weekly unless I make a significant dent. Because, yeah, it's a chunky boy. So that's that. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna show you are some socks. So, living in my fresh out of fucks bag, which I don't think I ever hold this long enough for you to actually see it. So here we go. But we've got my spring blossom socks, and we've made some progress. So this one, we're done with the color work. We are about a row or 2 right in before putting in the heel. This one still has its heel, and it's got most of a foot. So, I don't know who we is. Me and the sock. We are working towards the toe. We're very close, but also have very little yarn. This is what's left for this one. I don't know if you can see how tiny that guy is. So as soon as this one is done, I'll be switching to a contrast for the toe. I was thinking so the yarns in this sock, the main color is a Rico Designs Superba Premium 4-ply Superwash. I think I got all the words in order without even looking. And it is in light brown. The gradient color here is a Alpaca Polworth Silk handspun that I did from Spotted Circus, and the colorway is called Vineyard. And then the heel is from River's Edge Fiber Arts, and it is their Donegal fingering in Thistledown. So I was thinking of popping in for the heel a pink sparkly mini that I had. I mean, I could just do the Thistledown again, I guess. But I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Pink mini or more of the green tweedy guy? Yeah, let me know what you think. But these are really fun. I'm really happy. I'll probably put the heel in tomorrow, so this can be mindless knitting again. And yeah, this is my walking around project. So that is that. All right, so this next whip is one you have not seen yet, and it is crochet. And so this is my Lazy Kate from Maurice, what's his last name? Dreaming Robots. I don't know his last name. Is Maurice. I think it begins with an R. But it's also a yarn spindle, and it works really great for this kind of yarn. I mean, it works, I use it a lot for a lot of yarns, but especially this. And this yarn is that Hobie raffia, paper raffia yarn that I showed you in last week's acquisitions. And this is the Brissa hat by Raquel and Isabel Vidore. So the color of the yarn is eggplant. And yeah, this is really potato chippy. So I've been working on this a lot at my desk. It hurts to work on, though. I am giving myself cramps, but I'm so excited. Like, this is gonna be so fun. Like, I don't want to put it on right now, but I did have to like stretch it out a little bit. But it seems like it stretches pretty good. But yeah, my friend and I are both working on one, and we had them sitting at knit night on the table like this, and people were like, "Are you making baskets?" Like we said, if we get bored, it'll be a basket. But yeah, it'll be fun. Little summer hat, and I was thinking, so I really like this shell lace design that's going around the bottom, and it might be a little hard to tell, but there are some spots that have like bigger holes than others, and I thought it could be really cool to weave a ribbon through them potentially, and then that got me thinking about band weaving. So I may attempt to weave a band on my rigid heddle loom, although I am going to be putting this on there very soon. So maybe not. So maybe I'll just finish this out, see where it is for a while, and then weave a band for it later. But yeah, I'm using a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. And yeah, it's pretty fun. Hurts, but I'm excited about the finished product. So, we have my M's and W's fabric that I'm working on. Again, does not look very different, will not look very different for a long time, but I'll put in some video or photos of what that's looking like, what that's coming along like. Just steadily chipping away at it. So we're sitting here in my entertainment room, and my loom is right behind you. And our TVs, we have 2 TVs next to each other for peak gaming experience, are over there. So the Mighty Wolf loom is a loud guy. He's full of metal. So it's not something I can really do while we're watching TV. So it doesn't get as much work as knitting or spinning, which is something I can do right here. We are actually right now in what I call my nest, and this is where all my fiber projects end up. And yeah, I'm sure all of you fiber artists have some kind of nest. But anyway, so my spinning work in progress. So after I finished all of my Tour de Fleece projects, I decided to try to process a fleece that I bought last fall. So I bought a Shetland fleece, and I bought a small one. So this is, the tag said 1 pound 9 ounces. I got it for $20. And I did not know what I was looking for, really. And I still don't know if this is necessarily a good fleece or not. So I will get into my trials and tribulations with it. But you can see it's this nice brown gray color, and it's got the bleached tips. And so yeah. So last Thursday I cleaned this, which wasn't as daunting of a process as I was afraid. The processing is really what's getting me stuck. So, I'm not stuck. I've kind of got it now, but... Okay, so... Where do I even start? Okay, so... Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, where do I even start? So what I have, like, you pull off a chunk, and there's no discernible, like... How do I deal with this? So, I follow Trish over at Fiber Love Diary, and she had a video about processing fleece with minimal tools, and we had this dog flicker brush for one of our dogs, And that's one of the tools that she said you could use. So what she said was grab a lock, and then you twist it, and then you flick it out like this, and you go boop, 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 and then you get fiber. But even with that, so I didn't do that very well, but also look at how much fiber I have to use versus how much got stuck in the actual brush. So, it's very slow process. So I think I have a lot of shortcuts in here. I can't really tell. So it's really funny because I was just watching Marina of Pineapple Yarns earlier today, and she had a washed fleece that she's processing, but she's having a lot of the same problems I am. So, and again, her first time with a fleece, my first time with a fleece, I wish I kind of had someone who could just tell me, like, you're doing it all wrong, and that's why you're having a miserable time, or that fleece is not well shorn, that's why you're having a hard time. So yeah, like when I pull off, like if I get like the really curly bits, I get the lock, like it seems like the staple length is like significant, but then there are other places where it's like not even close to that. And so when I'm flicking it out, I'm losing a lot of the fiber there. So I'm trying. It takes a long time, and I'm working to get all the vegetable matter out. It's medium, I would say, on the vegetable matter, but the biggest problem is just getting a usable bit of fiber. So this is about what I've been ending up with. Give me a little look-see there. So I've got a little nest right now. But yeah, I think I flicked out 10 ounces, and I did it like that was like a whole morning's work. So I mean, I'm excited about this, but I'm also, it's a lot of work. So I've been doing the flicking, but what I thought I was going to do in the beginning was use my blending board and kind of make these roll eggs. So I made a few roll eggs. But I think the problem with the roll eggs, I was adding in some of the shorter bits. So I'm getting a lot of neps with these. I got a lot of tangles. I mean, this does not draft easily. This is not spinning like a dream. It is spinning like you want it. So, so this was my first little sample. I knit up a swatch. And then I was also kind of confused because I was like, is this yarn soft or not? Like, it is the straight, like, I think it's, so what I did was I knit up this swatch and I popped it in my bra right there and I walked around with it for a while. And it didn't, I forgot about it. So it wasn't bothering me. So I'm thinking this is next to skin soft for a sweater. I'm not entirely sure I will have enough for a sweater. So the tag said 1 pound 9 ounces, but after I washed the fleece, I weighed it and I got about, my scale said 14 ounces. So that's significantly less. I don't think I lost that much in the I didn't lose like any actual fiber in the washing. And I don't think the lanolin and the dirt would be that heavy. So I don't know if I was sold less than I thought or what the deal is. So I don't know. But here's what I'm working on. Here's what I'm spinning. I'm going to bring the whole wheel in. Okay, if you can turn for me. Great. Awesome. Thank you. So there we go. That's what we're working on. Those are the singles. I'm not getting a consistent spin for me. I'm trying, but I'm not fighting it too much. So here, can you see the little ply back curly Q guy there? That's the 2-ply. That's what I think I'm going to go with. So I'm spinning a little bit thinner than what my little sample swatch knit up like. Because my goal, what I would like, I don't know if this is going to actually happen or not, is to take spin this up, take some of the yarn, and over dye it either a dark red or a dark pink, and get a really nice tonal kettle dye with that, and then do one of those low contrast unwind knitwork patterns. I've been drooling over those for like 2 years now, and I really want to do one. So that would be my ideal, but and I believe that's, so she's got a few. The one that I always think of is the Night Book. That's probably the one I want to do the most, and I think that's fingering yarn. So 14 ounces fingering weight colorwork sweater. It may not happen, so we'll see. But I think this is nice. So I had a little bit of reservation when I bought this too, because I've never bought a Shetland commercial yarn that I thought was soft and felt next to skin. But I think this might be. I don't know. I'm so confused. Whatever. It was like I said, it was 20 pounds for the whole fleece, so it's not like it's a huge investment. It's just my time and sanity, things I have to spare. So yeah, those are all my whips. So, I got a few non-fiber crafts or makes that I can chat with you about. So, last week I showed you a few of the pieces that I was 3D printing for our game. And we had some friends over on Sunday to put together the boxes. So this is the box for our game. It is called Kitty Combs. My partner and I have been making board games for the past, I guess, since we've been together. Well, I didn't start with him making them right away. So for me, about 6 years. And so if we open the box, we've got all of our pieces in here. So this one's got a set of purple dice, a stack of cards, a rule book, and then all of my little 3D printed pieces. Luca, come here. Come here. You got nothing to be mad about. Why don't you come up here? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know it's so much yarn to get around. Come on. You got it. Yeah. Co-host time. All right. You want to turn around? Face the camera? Yeah. Oh, good. Good job. I know. So, last week I showed you the cat heads, and I told you I was working on the snake. I finished the snake design. So this is our snake. Bye, Luca. You can see him flat this way. He's got a little tongue that points the direction that he is moving in. And then we've got this dog. I did not design the dog. We licensed that out from someone on Thingiverse, but it works very well. And here are the 4-player cat heads. Boop. Yeah, so it is a game about being cats in a dungeon, and you are trying to defeat bosses, steal their loot, and make it out of the dungeon before... Oh, there's gonna be a demo copy, because I just bent that. Where'd my dice go? Call out to me. Tell me where I put the dice. There we go. I heard you. So, yeah, we've got 2 conventions coming up. We've got a local one called GalaxyCon. That'll be the first one that we are selling this at. We've got a booth, a corner booth, because we're very fancy. We'll be selling this along with our 2 other games and 1 expansion. And then we are headed to Indianapolis to Gen Con, which is the big board game convention, one of the big board games conventions that happen during the summer. We went last year. It was a lot of fun, so looking forward to that. If you are going to be at any of those conventions, I know it's unlikely, but it's always cool to, come over and see us. We are the One Method Monkey booth. So yeah, video or board game stuff has been taking up a lot of time. We'll be getting all ready to sell them. So my partner and I also celebrated our 7-year anniversary recently. So, he has gotten into drawing recently. And so I thought it would be fun. I have been a drawer. Oh, God, no, that's not right. An artist of many different types for my entire life. So I've really wanted to do some more plein air painting. So for our anniversary, we went over to a local attraction that we have here in Raleigh every summer. They plant a big field of sunflowers, and then it blooms in the middle of July, which is always our anniversary, so it has very good memories for me. And so we went over there and we did some plein air studies. So this is the painting that I made. So you can see this is downtown Raleigh in the background. This is from Dorothea Dix Park, so it's very close to our downtown. But I used a heavy body acrylic for this, and it was the first plein air painting I've ever done, and it was super fun. I want to do all of them all the time now. That's all. So it's very busy when the sunflowers come out, because it's very exciting to see every year. So people were very interested in knowing what I was doing. So it was a little distracting, but it was still a lot of fun. We went very early because it is miserably hot here. But if you go at like 8 a.m., it's bearable-ish. So the last thing I have is acquisitions, and then I will leave you to go about your day. So I made an order to Wool Warehouse, and this is what I got. It's so funny because when this came, I don't think I would ever go into a store and leave with this much yarn. But on a website, they're all just numbers. But these all have specific projects in mind, so I feel good about that. So I'll show you what I got. So I ordered a sweater quantity of Drops Air in Blush, which is the bottom color, and Coral Reef. So this is intended to be the Sun Ray sweater, I believe. I will put a picture here. I picked... Jasper's very interested in the microphone right now. Did you just knock it up? You just knocked it over, little buddy. Little buddy. Hey. See? Second co-host now. Look up. Hey. Yeah. You cuddle bug. What was I saying? Sun Ray sweater. Oh, I picked colors very close to the sample. I really liked the way it looked. And coral is my favorite color, so I thought that'd be fun. So it'll be all these sunbursts right around my neck. And I'm slowly falling prey to the fuzzy mohair trend that is happening. So yeah. If you don't know about this kind of yarn, this is a blown yarn. So it is made of a tube of polyester, and then it has or polyamide. So it's 28% polyamide, 7% wool, and 65% alpaca. And the alpaca and the wool fibers are blown into the tube. So it ends up with a very light but warm garment. So I've made a sweater in Drops Air in the past, and I really like it. So the next thing I got was Drops Snow. And this is in Bark and Dark Petrol. So this is a single ply bulky wool yarn, and it says it's great for felting, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with it. So I saw these two patterns. I mentioned last week I'm really into brimmed hats as an idea, as a concept. So I saw these two patterns. One is called Chloe, and I don't remember the name of the other one, but I will put it somewhere. And I'll put in pictures. So I bought these for those. So these will be hats. Sorry if you just heard rumblings. Jasper has to be the mayor of the block. And then the last yarn I got was Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk in off-white and black. So I didn't really know what I was going to do with these when I bought them, but I have a plan for them now. So I went through my Ravelry queue recently. I try to keep my queue relatively manageable with things that I really plan to make in the next few months. If something has been sitting there for too long, and I always specify a yarn that I have in stash that I'm going to use for that. If something has been sitting for too long, I have determined that I am probably not going to make that thing. So I have a sweater's quantity of Knit Picks Stroll fingering, or Stroll, not gradient, not tonal, variegated, maybe. I don't know which one it is. I will put a picture of it here. It's like a black and a purple, pink, dark colors. I originally intended on doing like a sweatshirty kind of thing, sweater with like the pull ties, and like I think it had like some weird like biasing on it. But that's been sitting in my queue since 2018. It doesn't seem like that's getting made. So I did when I bought this, I thought, well, what if I held, this alpaca silk with it? That could get me, well, I don't need more yardage because I have like 1,800 yards of that, but I was like, I know that's very in right now, and like, that might be a good thing to play with. So, but I didn't have that thought like early enough to like actually buy enough of one color. So what my plan is I'm going to knit the Daily Ritual pullover sweater by Parkin Knit. Ooh, I hope that's right. I didn't write this down, but if it's wrong, I will correct myself. And my plan is to take the off-white and dye it like dark pinks and purples, like a variegated, and then stripe it with the black. So the base, the fingering yarn will be throughout, and then I will just change which alpaca I'm using to do like a striped Daily Ritual. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Very excited about these two big sweaters that I now have planned. But yeah, that is the end of what I have to tell you. So yeah, I didn't tell you how to find me on the internet earlier, so I will do that now. If you would like to see me other places, I am Crayon Disaster Knits on Instagram, and I am Crayon Disaster on Textilia and Ravelry. I will come back in 2 weeks and hopefully have a lot more fibery goodness to share with you. But until then, pet all the soft things and have a good time. Bye!